Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You sound a lot better. Is your cold going away? Is it?
It's still pretty strong.
I had a cold last week, and then I gave my wife that cold, so now I don't have the cold. And you're sounding better, but then we also gave it to our daughter, so
Yeah.
it's kind of going around.
Yeah.
Apparently that's contagious and stuff. So, yeah. So if you have a cold and you talked to me last week, I'm sorry. I do have this for you. We've got a Dear John letter coming up later in the program. And I've got a quote here for this Thursday, the 31st of May. It's the last day of May, Heidi. Do you do May Day baskets at the end of May, too?
No, just
Are you
the
gonna
first
do
day of May.
June Day basket tomorrow?
No.
Okay, I didn't know. Bernard Williams says, man never made any materials as resilient as the human spirit. I agree. I've seen people who've had their human spirit broken, though, and that is very sad. And it's great to see their human spirit returned. So, Bernard Williams, you are wise with a great quote. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's, what is it here? It's the 31st of May. It is a Thursday. It is National Smile Day.
That's a nice day.
It is. I'm smiling right now just thinking about it. It's National Utah Day as well. National Autonomous Vehicles Day. I'm not quite ready for those. It's the vehicles that drive themselves. Mm-hmm. There have been a couple accidents already. There was an autonomous bus in Las Vegas. It did a big press conference, and everybody got on the bus, and then it smashed into a car. And then they're like, press conference over. National Macaroon Day. It is Necrotizing Fasciitis Awareness Day.
I have no
today.
clue what that is.
Doesn't sound good. It's also National Save Your Hearing Day. Huh? Yeah, today's the day. And National Speak in Sentences Day.
Shouldn't that be every day?
It should be, but you know what? The English language is interesting. We don't always speak in full sentences. Sometimes you just answer a question with just like a word or two, and it's not really a sentence, but people understand what we're saying, right?
Sure.
See, was that a full sentence? There you go. It's National Speak in a Sentence Day, so you sort of said, yes, John, that is absolutely correct. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-818-3967. 800-818-3967. That's 800-818-3967. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
John and Heidi.
Coming up, we've got your brain on drugs, but first, a little episode of Prison or Vineyard. Heidi likes this game.
Oh, I do like this one.
Yeah, this is a fun one. I'm going to read to you the name of a business, and I want you to tell me if this business is a vineyard or if this is a prison.
Okay.
Hell's Canyon, Caldwell, Idaho. Is it a vineyard or a prison? Hell's Canyon.
I'm going to say a vineyard.
It is a vineyard, yes. Coyote Ridge or Coyote Ridge, I'm not sure how they say it, in Connell, Washington. Prison or vineyard?
Prison.
It is a prison. Nassau Valley in Lewes, Delaware. Is it a vineyard or is it a prison?
Vineyard.
It is a vineyard. Heidi, you are 3 for 3. We're going to do one more. And this is a winner take all. You get this one right, you win the prize. If you don't, then you don't win the prize.
What's the prize?
There is no prize. So please don't get this one right. All right. Great Falls, Montana. It's called Cascade County. Is it a prison or a vineyard? Cascade County, Great Falls, Montana.
I'm going to say a prison.
It's a prison. Heidi, you ran the game today. You got them all. Did you read this ahead of time?
No.
Wow, you are good. She's good at today's game of prison or vineyard. You want a kiss, so get over here, lady. She's my wife. I can do that. We'll be back with your brain on drugs.
John and Heidi.
each day at this time, we talk about people doing dumb things under the influence, but addiction is no laughing matter. If you or someone you know needs help, there's a toll-free number you can call.
1-800-438-0380.
That's the Addiction Hope and Helpline.
1-800-438-0380.
And this is your brain on drugs. Irked by a delay in the takeoff of a Mumbai-bound flight, a 37-year-old man allegedly under the influence of alcohol inflicted self-injury using a pen to stab himself after a verbal spat with airline officials. Well, here's the one thing I got to say.
That makes sense.
At least he stabbed himself instead of someone else. He was scheduled to board Air India's flight at 2:30 a.m. It's a Mumbai flight. However, when the flight was delayed for about 3 hours, he questioned the airline officials, which led to a verbal duel. The man told the officials that he ran the risk of missing his connecting flight at Mumbai, and in seeming fit of rage, took out a pen and punched it into his own stomach. Started bleeding.
That makes perfect sense.
The passenger was taken to a hospital with the airport within the airport's premises for treatment, and the flight later departed, took off without him because, hey, now you missed your flight because you're down there getting stitches in your tummy. Bad idea.
What an idiot.
Yeah, he was under the influence of alcohol and
Shocker.
did not think things through. But that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Solo, a Star Wars story, struggles to make any sort of opening weekend impact. They expected it to do well, but they didn't do well. They had $114 million is what doesn't sound bad to me, but it's the worst Star Wars opening of all time. And it was on a 4-day weekend, the Memorial weekend, and it was in 4,300 theaters, which is quite a few theaters.
Right.
So a lot of screens, but if you went to Solo, you might have been there solo. So I'm gonna move on. Ivy League school Brown University will bestow an honorary degree on English musician Sting. They're going to give him an honorary degree.
That's nice.
I never understood the honorary degree thing. What is that?
Me either. I don't get it.
So if you have an honorary degree, does that help you somehow?
I don't believe so.
Can you get a better job in the music business now, Sting?
I don't know.
No, sure what that.
I don't think there is a better job than what he's got already.
Yeah. And it's interesting when they bestow these honorary degrees and then later somebody does something wrong and then they unbestow it. That's happened recently. They took it away from Bill Cosby and several others. Hey, we gave you these free degrees. We're taking that back now. So there you go.
Yeah. Oh, no. What am I going to do without my honorary degree?
I'm going to have to quit my really good job I got with that fake degree. All right. Big screen, little screen brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Now, your scoop of the day. Before we get to this, I just thought of something. After we talked a little bit ago about these honorary degrees, Ivy League school, Brown University, they're going to bestow this honorary degree on English musician Sting. I'm not exactly sure how that ended up in the big screen, little screen. Shouldn't that really have been in this segment, I think? Anyway, I think we should start bestowing honorary degrees from the John and Heidi Show.
Okay.
What do you think of that?
Sure.
Who should we give our first degree to?
I don't know.
Should we give Sting one of ours, too, and see which one he likes more? Sting, you just got the honorary John and Heidi Show degree. The masters in John and Heidiism. Probably not. I haven't thought this all the way through. Maybe I should think these things through before I speak. Anyway, I just thought it was an interesting concept, so we'll have to think of how we can do that. At one point, I used to do a thing called Big John's College of Knowledge, and I had little degrees for that. I don't know. The FBI has tightened up their policies for impersonating journalists. Ooh. We better quit pretending to be journalists. Wait, have we ever pretended to be journalists?
Never.
I don't think so. Have I ever claimed to be a journalist?
No.
We are broadcasters. We are entertainers. Well, We hope.
We try.
Once in a while. There was a time that I thought it was kind of funny to say that, but I don't know. The FBI has tightened up their policies for impersonating journalists. I wonder who is impersonating a journalist.
I don't know. Probably just to try to get into certain places with credentials.
I wonder, could we print up little badges and get into things? If we could, we should start impersonating journalists. Excuse me, I need to get into this concert for free.
Excuse
Do you
me.
see this?
Way, excuse me.
I'm a journalist. That's why I'm parked on the curb out there. I'm a journalist. A new study finds that all forms of sexual harassment, whether physical or not, have the ability to cause long-term damage to an individual. Of course it does.
Of course.
If you hurt somebody's feelings, if you say something mean, that has an impact too. When I was a kid, they used to have this saying. Do you remember this? Sticks and stones will break my bones, but what was the rest of it?
Names will never hurt me.
But words will never hurt me. Whoever made that up
was an idiot.
Apparently has never been called names because the words, they hurt just as much as the sticks and stones. As a matter of fact, sticks and stones, they break bones. Those things heal. When you get called naughty things or awful things, it takes a long time for those to heal. So don't be a bully. Don't be mean to people. Just love one another. It's a really good way to live your life. Treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Man, if everybody did that, you know how great this world would be?
Yep,
it'd be pretty darn cool. According to the USA Today yesterday, I think it was yesterday, or maybe it was 2 days ago. The USA Today the other day, I'm not sure when it was. Anyway, they say if you have excellent credit, there are 5 great credit cards you want to have, according to them. Well, what if you don't? How many do I have now? There's one choice for you. If you don't, you don't have any choices. So they came out with this thing that excellent credit people have some great cards, according to the USA Today the other day. Apple wants to copyright the image of a lowercase I because they say it is synonymous with their products, like the iPad and the iPod and the iPhone. Well, here's the problem. That's a letter. How do you copyright a letter? I remember Kenny G and Garth Brooks had a little tiff back in the day because Kenny G had a lowercase g. And then Garth Brooks was using a lowercase g, and they're both in music, and there was some confusion.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think anyone's ever been confused between Garth Brooks and Kenny G.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, that has happened. You really are confused. But this lowercase I thing, you guys didn't start that. When I was a kid, they had a thing called an IROC. Remember that? The car? It was like a Trans Am kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then there's this country called Iraq, another one called Iran.
But they don't use lowercase I as a logo. This is what they're trying to do.
I'm just saying, I don't think you can come back now years later and say, hey, we should have done this back when we started the iPod, because the iPod was the first one, wasn't it?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure it was. Anyway, Apple is trying to do that. We'll see what happens there. This has been your Scoop of the Day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
John and Heidi.
Do you have ideas for t-shirt designs, but you don't have a clue how to print them? Or maybe you'd like to have t-shirts and coffee mugs available to buy online with your business logo printed on them. There's a website that makes it easy. We set ours up in about 10 minutes. There's no sign-up fee, no minimum orders, no monthly fees. It's just a really easy way to put some cool items online for sale, and you get paid every time somebody buys them. You don't have to print or ship anything. Just sign up, upload your designs, and then let people know where they can get your cool stuff. More details available at radiosavings.com. That's radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
And it's time right now for
Dear John Letters.
Dear John.
And we have our Dear John letter here today. We'll tell you in a bit how you can submit your Dear John letter as well. We've made it simple and easy, Heidi. So easy, a caveman could do it.
Okay.
Wait, I think somebody else already uses that line. So easy, anybody with a computer can do it. How's that sound? Here we go. Dear John, a friend from work invited me to a pool party, but I don't like how I look in a swimming suit. Everyone else will be wearing their 2-piece slinky suits and looking great. I'll be wearing my pup tent 1-piece and looking like a whale. Oh, come on. Would it be rude for me to not go? I told her I didn't think I could make it, but she has been pretty insistent about me going. Should I just tell her I don't like how I look in a swimming suit? Should I tell her I'll go and then get, in quotes, sick that day? That would probably happen anyway. I'm getting sick just thinking about it. I'm glad that she wants me to hang out, so I kind of want to go since she asked, but I'm not sure this is the right thing for me. What should I do? Signed, self-conscious coworker. Well, I can relate. I'm not exactly a skinny dude. And I remember not too long ago, last November, we went to 80s in the Sand in Punta Cana, and everybody was walking around with their shirts off and looking good. I was wearing a shirt the whole time.
Yeah.
I even had a friend that was saying, take your shirt off. What do you care? I was like, I don't know. I'm just uncomfortable.
Right.
And it's not so much that I care what other people think. It's just I care how I feel. So I certainly understand.
I get it. Yep.
One of the things that I think I would do if I were you, and this I'll ask Heidi's opinion here in a second, but I'll tell you. Well, you know what? I'll ask your opinion first. I'll let you. Do you have a thought on this right away?
I totally understand where she's coming from, and I would probably be the same way. I guess my question is, how well do you know everybody that's there? I mean, if it's going to be an awkward situation where you don't know most of the people that are going to be there either, plus you're going to be uncomfortable in your own skin, I wouldn't go.
And you don't know who else is going to be there.
But if everybody that's going to be there are all very good friends of yours, then go and have fun because they love you and they don't care as much as you think they care.
Well, and the other thing is, I think it's kind of the opposite. If you don't know who's going to be, I think it'd be harder for me to go hang out at a party, wearing something I'm not comfortable with when it's a bunch of coworkers and people I know from work. But if it was just a bunch of strangers, maybe I would feel a little more comfortable. I'm like, you don't know me, so what do you care?
I wouldn't.
Really?
No.
So you think it'd be easier if it was people you knew?
Yeah.
I don't know how that would work, but I don't know. The advice,
I mean, your inner circle of friends, the people that you're close to. Yeah, we have people all the time that go swimming with us. What do you mean you wouldn't be able to put on a swimming suit with people you know?
But do I take my shirt off? No.
Nobody's asking you to take your shirt off.
That's what I'm saying. She's talking about being comfortable in her skin. And what I'm saying is this. Here's what I would do, personally. I would not tell her, hey, I'll be there, I'll see you Saturday, and then just not go. Because you just said in this email that you really are glad she's asking you to do things, and that could blow the chance. Like if she's depending on you to be there and you don't show up, that's going to look really bad. So instead, what I would do is just tell her, maybe, hey, can we go to lunch on Friday? And then at lunch tell her, or whatever, maybe even just in the office at coffee or wherever you're at, say, I don't really feel comfortable in a swimming suit. So if I do come to the pool party, would it be okay if I don't dress in, look at me, I don't feel comfortable that way. But let her know ahead of time instead of just not showing up. Don't you agree?
Yes.
What are you smiling about?
I was just thinking when you said go to lunch, I thought it would be, hey, let's go to lunch. Y'all have 2 Big Macs, 2 orders of fries, and a Diet Coke. I just don't feel comfortable in a bathing suit. I just can't seem to drop this weight.
And whatever she'll have. So, no, that's not what I was saying at all. Heidi, come on. No, I just think talk to her about it ahead of time, because if she is a friend and she's, a friend from work and she cares about you, she'll probably say, I hadn't thought of that. Let's do this instead, and just do something different.
Yeah.
Or she could say, that's fine. There's a lot of people that come to the parties that don't get in the pool. Just dress comfortable and
right. Just
you don't have to go
have
swimming.
Fun.
I've been to pool parties where there are many people that don't go swimming at the pool parties.
Right.
They just kind of hang out. So, if you have a Dear John letter you'd like to submit for next week, how do you do that, Heidi?
I don't know.
I just think it's funny.
Go to johnandheidishow.com.
There you go. You can submit it through our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show, or you can do it right through the website, johnandheidishow.com. Now you know.
John and Heidi.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
It's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough. Available now on Amazon, or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Did you know the phrase rule of thumb is derived from an old English law that stated you could not beat your wife with anything wider than your thumb?
I did know that.
I did too. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
So if I wanted to beat you with something like the size of this pen, I could beat you with that, but not with something, the size of like
right, you couldn't
a big
go
stick or
grab
something.
A giant tree branch.
Baseball bat. I think that's a bad rule of thumb. I think the whole thing is bad. And then the term the whole 9 yards, you know where that comes from?
No.
Oh, let me say that again. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Did you know where the fact? Whatever. The whole 9 yards. It's from World War II. Fighter pilots in the South Pacific, when aiming their airplanes on the ground, when they're arming them rather, the 50 caliber machine gun had ammo belts that were exactly 27 feet, also known as 9 yards. So before being loaded into the fuselage, if the pilots fired all of their ammo at a target, they got the whole 9 yards. So they shot them all. They got the whole 9 yards. So that's where that came from. I always thought that was like a football term. But now we know it's not. Thanks for listening to a couple of fun facts, courtesy of LearnWithoutLoans.com.
John and Heidi.
If you're a business owner trying to do your own website, maybe it's time to get help. Or if you don't even have a website, it's definitely time for help. It's 2018. This internet thing is here to stay. At 49bydesign.com, we offer a simple plan to get you online for just $49 a month with no setup fee. This includes a website with the hosting and domain name included in the price. We have larger packages available, but this will get you online so people can find you in 2018. We're affordable by design at 49bydesign.com. That's 49bydesign.com.
John and Heidi.
Time now for the grandiloquent word of the day, and today is biblionost. What do you think biblionost means? If you were going to guess.
Somebody who is proficient with the Bible.
Really close. It is a well-read, let me spell it first, BIBLIOGNOST. For those of you who want to, check up my work, you can. I always have a link to this, by the way, in our show notes. So if you ever do miss one of the really fun and always awesome grandiloquent words, you can find those in the show notes at johnandheidishow.com. But biblionost, a well-read individual, a person with wide knowledge of books. So the bibli is the books part, not the
just
Bible.
Any book.
Yeah.
Like bibliothèque.
Yeah. One that has comprehensive knowledge of books and bibliography.
So this
a person,
is a Spanish in origin?
Well, we'll look in a second here. A person who possesses an encyclopedic knowledge of books and bibliography. One versed in bibliography or the history of books, and it's from the French biblio and gnosti, which is from Greek. I don't know. Anyway, there is your grandiloquent word of the day for today. Once again, biblionost. Biblionost. Thanks for listening.
John and Heidi.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-719-5601. 800-719-5601. That's 800-719-5601.
Time now for some weird news. And Heidi, I have some very bizarre news here. A Victorian Australian farmer, so keep in mind this is in Australia, is accused of murdering a man who ran over his dog, but he claims the shotgun went off accidentally when he tripped on an eggplant. What is going? There's a lot going on in this story.
Right.
A 55-year-old by the name of Angelo Russo is accused of fatally shooting David Calandro during a dispute after Calandro ran over Russo's dog at the Goldblum Valley farm. Russo was holding a shotgun and walking towards the other gentleman's vehicle when he says he tripped on an eggplant and the gun accidentally went off. But the prosecution alleges that the 55-year-old walked right up and deliberately shot him in the head because he was angry about him shooting his dog. His dog, Harry, was run over. The trial in the Victorian Supreme Court is going on right now, so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. That is just bizarre. Like I said, a lot of stuff going on in that
I could
story.
see that happening, though, if you're walking with it and holding it like an idiot.
You don't do it that way.
And then you trip.
If you're going to own a gun, and I'm a fan of, the right to own a gun, but be a responsible gun owner.
Yeah,
never
you don't
ever
walk
have
with
your finger
on the trigger.
Never have your finger on the trigger until you're ready
you
to
are
use
ready
it.
to kill.
Because
it will kill. So
it's a bad idea. This is weird news, courtesy of 49bydesign.com. Now, your moment of duh. I almost wish I could see some of the things that happened during this segment, and this is one I'd like to see.
All right.
Maine State Police report 3 men were arrested in Maine after state troopers caught them using a pickup truck to drag a stolen shed down the road. Troopers were called to the York County town by a concerned citizen who reported 3 men had stolen a shed from a foreclosed property. They were dragging it away. Troopers arrived. They found the men still dragging a 25-foot-long shed. This is huge. That's a big shed.
That is
25
a big
feet
shed.
long? In total, 3 men named Matthew Thompson, Timothy James, and Robert Brenton were arrested after troopers verified the shed was indeed stolen. State police say Matthew Thompson was also found with crystal meth and prescription pills that he was not prescribed for. All 3 men were charged with theft by unauthorized taking and or transfer, and are expected to be indicted on additional charges of reckless conduct and criminal mischief. I was just telling Heidi, every story that comes along, if I took out every story that had drugs involved and every story that had the state of Florida involved,
we would have nothing.
We'd have nothing else, because I have a segment earlier in the program called Your Brain on Drugs. If I moved all of the drug stories there, and then we got a segment later in the program called Fake News or Florida. If I moved all the Florida stories there, we wouldn't have anything to talk about. But this one here was in Maine, but the one guy was, on meth. And apparently that's why they were dragging the shed down the road.
Wow.
I would have loved to have seen that. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
In a world that constantly tells you you're not good enough,
12 easy ways to lose weight now.
it's easy to start believing that. I'm Amanda Johnson. I have a new perspective on the self-help genre. My book, Becoming Enough, A Heroine's Journey to the Already Perfect Self, will guide you to find your own happiness. Learn to block out the distractions of what the world thinks and learn to be happy with who you truly are. Becoming Enough. Available now on Amazon, or learn more at amandajohnson.tv.
John and Heidi.
Time now for Fake News or Florida. This is the time during the program where Heidi has to guess if this is fake news or just a bunch of flubbery, if I'm making things up trying to fool her. You ready today?
Ready.
A man attempts to smoke crack in a hospital's intensive care unit and nearly burns down the room. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
True. That is from Florida. I have a link to the story, but I don't have the whole story. How about this one? A mom was arrested after her son brought 4 pounds of marijuana to the kindergarten class. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
Incorrect. That was fake news. Yeah, that one was fake news. Should we do one more?
Sure.
We got time for this, you think? Judges, what do you say? Yes? Okay, here we go. Fake news or Florida? A judge was arrested in an undercover prostitution sting. Fake news or Florida?
Florida.
Florida is correct. Yes, that did absolutely did happen. So this has been another fun-filled, action-packed episode of Fake News or Florida, where we read a story to you, and then Heidi has to decide if it's a true story that happened in Florida or if it's fake news just made up to try to fool her, and she's getting pretty darn good at it. So I don't know. I'm going to have to see if we can trick you a little bit better. If you have fake news or Florida stories you'd like to share, you can do that at johnandheidishow.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think I've got some good news today. Heidi, you ready for good news?
I am ready.
All right. You're also ready for the end of the program. She's still got a bit of a cold.
Tired, and I really need a nap.
I really feel bad that you got sick. If I get my hands on the guy that got you sick like that...
Yeah, it was you.
Oh, it was me? Okay, well, I apologize. I do have your good news for today. Again, courtesy of Odiva. It's a monthly subscription service just for the ladies. All of the details on our site, radiosavings.com. And this is such a cool story. Have you heard about the guy, they're nicknaming him Spider-Man?
I don't think so.
It is quite the story. It's an immigrant, and they're calling him Spider-Man. He rescued a young child, and it's earning him a job and his citizenship. This happened, I believe, in France. I'll read the story to you here. It was in Paris.
Oh, you know what? I did, too. I saw the video. I didn't know they were calling him Spider-Man,
Yeah,
but I did see this.
22-year-old migrant by the name of Spider-Man. He's a hero after he saved a young boy who was dangling from a 4th-floor balcony in Paris last weekend. The guy's name is Mamadou Gassama, and I probably got that wrong. I apologize. He moved to France from Mali a few months ago. He's been in a restaurant watching a football match, and he's noticing a crowd gathering outside, and he looks out to see, and there was a boy crying and clinging to the outside of a balcony railing. Meanwhile, the next-door neighbors were struggling to rescue the boy. Without stopping to think, he just quickly started scaling the front of the building by pulling himself up from balcony to balcony. Within seconds of approaching the building, he gets up to the boy and pulls the boy to safety. The fire brigade hadn't even arrived yet. That's how quick this happened. There's a video online that's gone viral. Everybody's just hailing him as a hero, which is awesome.
What a selfless, wonderful act.
The crowd can be heard cheering as he goes up, and people were just having a blast watching this happen, because they thought it was so cool. This guy, you can hear every time he goes up to the next thing. Spectators weren't the only ones who were praising this 22-year-old for his heroism. In honor of Saturday's events, he recently met with the French president, Emmanuel Macron, and by means of thanking him for his courage, they're saying, we're going to help you become a naturalized citizen of France. And he was given a medal for bravery and a job position with the fire brigade, because when they showed up, they're like, job's already done. He climbed up there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So I think that's really cool. What a nice guy. He looks like such a great kid. 22 years old. I shouldn't say kid. He's a young man. What a cool story, though. If you've got a good news story to share, you can always do that through our website, johnandheidishow.com. We also have a link to this story. It's in our show notes there. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.
Time now for the bonus break on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Barbecue month, is that May or June?
It's May.
May, okay. So we're wrapping it up.
We are.
All right. Well, I will get my recorder rolling. We'll record this today. I'll have it on tomorrow. So it'll be on the last day of May. So we're going to squeak in by the skin of our teeth, or whatever they call it. So
You got it.
Here we go. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We are wrapping up a very special month. May is National BBQ Month, and we have Mark Singleton with us, and he is with Southern Recipe Small Batch. How you doing, sir?
Hey, John, I'm doing great. Just wrapped up a great Memorial Day. How about you?
Yeah, we did too, and I'll tell you what, here where I live, it went from winter to summer. I think we kind of skipped spring this year. So
We're going to hit 100 this week.
Holy cow. Well, I'll tell you what, we've got May is done today, and then we've got June starting tomorrow already. And we got to celebrate National Barbecue Month, and I know a lot of folks have probably been celebrating all month long, but we got to make sure we tell them how to celebrate. This is something that you can take all summer long and can continue to celebrate over and over, can't you?
Well, that's what we all do. I mean, it's the time that everybody breaks out the grill, breaks out the smoker, gets all their family out. We were throwing horseshoes and pitching watchers and just having a great time. And it's all summer long across America. And grilling is a huge part of that because, as we talked about before, food just brings families together.
It absolutely does. Now, you have some barbecue tips, or what kind of fun stuff are we going to learn about for National Barbecue Month that's wrapping up today?
Well, we really celebrate barbecue in a lot of our different flavors, but our newest is our Korean kimchi barbecue, and we forget that, barbecue is all over the world. Any place there's meat and fire, people have figured out how to make a pretty great tasting dish. Absolutely. And I've had the flavor that you're talking about. I tried those. They're really good. Oh, they are. And when you look at, it's that smoky flavor, it's that umami flavor. It really is something that, it is just, we think of it as American because and Texas-style brisket and things like that. But barbacoa is actually from the Caribbean. The Spanish started saying it almost when they got here because the natives cooked meat and fish in pits and called it barbacoa. So we've been doing this a long time. So this is nothing new, but there are always people coming up with new and exciting things and new exciting flavors. Now let's talk about some of the other barbecue flavors you guys have at Southern Recipe Small Batch. Oh, we have hot barbecues. We have sweet Southern barbecue. There's subtle. We've got some new stuff, which has some more Asian and even Moroccan influences. Because once again, wherever there's meat, wherever there's fire, people are putting it together in ways that we love to explore and talk about. But barbecuing and grilling are two totally different things. Yeah, absolutely. Barbecuing in the South is almost an all-day affair, which most people think we talk slow because we're slow thinking. But it's just to keep pace with the cooking. You kind of got to let that temperature come up real slow. You got to hold it at a couple hundred degrees all day. And you got to talk about it a lot with your friends and relatives as you're doing it. You know, it's just a whole social aspect. Me and all my uncles were sitting around the pit pretty much all day on Monday.
Well, and one of the things that's nice, while that food is cooking, that's also an important time to start getting ready to eat, because that's when you maybe have a little beverage to enjoy while you're cooking that, and then you can even have some of the Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds while you're waiting, because you don't want to wait for that meat to get done. That takes a while. You got to start eating leading up to it too.
Oh yeah, and you know there's so many options there as well. People cook with mesquite wood and oak wood and pecan wood. Once again, if you go across the country, you're going to find people doing all kinds of exciting things with food these days, and we're seeing a lot of people do a lot of exciting things with pork rinds that we never would have thought. And it kind of makes sense if you're in a protein diet and looking for a way to enjoy a dip, you know, while you're waiting on your meat to get ready. A pork rind's a good option. Our salt and pepper, our plain pork rinds are great with salsa, guacamole, and even cheese dips. People really miss an opportunity for a great protein-packed snack with cheese dip.
Now, where can they find Southern Recipe small batch? Are they in stores, or you buy them online? How do you find these?
Oh, well, we're in stores all across the country: Kroger, Safeway, Hy-Vee, Harris Teeter, just all across the country. We also are available online at www.southernrecipesmallbatch.com or porkrinds.com. And in a couple of weeks, we'll be available on Amazon.
Very nice. Well, that's exciting.
Yeah, it is.
Well, Mark, thank you again for taking some time to visit. It's always fun, and what a great way to celebrate the last day of National Barbecue Month.
All right, John. Y'all have a great day.
You do the same. Thank you again. Mark Singleton, he is with Southern Recipe Small Batch. You can find them online at porkrinds.com. All right, I'm going to save that. Thank you so much.